Imagine you finally get that promotion, the massive pay bump you've been chasing for years. So, you do what we're all taught to do. You upgrade. You get the nicer apartment, you lease the luxury car, you buy the clothes that match your shiny new title. On paper, you have arrived. On social media, you are winning. But on a random Tuesday night, sitting in an hour of traffic, utterly exhausted, dreading the mountain of laundry waiting at your expensive apartment, you realize a terrifying truth. You don't feel rich, you just feel trapped. Because you didn't buy a better life. You bought a more expensive treadmill. Today, we are tearing down the biggest lie we are taught about money and looking at why buying time, not status, is the ultimate flex. I'm Tony, and welcome to Grow with Tony, where we decode the psychology of money, mindset, and building a life that actually feels good on the inside, not just looks good on the outside. And just as a quick reminder, everything we explore here is about sharing educational frameworks and my personal perspectives, not giving you individualized financial advice. Always use your own judgment and look at your unique situation before making any big money moves. Now let's talk about the trap. It happens so subtly that almost no one realizes they are in it until the walls close in. It's a phenomenon we can call the status tax. When our income goes up, our default instinct, programmed into us by society, brilliant marketing, and deep-rooted peer pressure, is to upgrade our visible reality. We buy the things that signal to the tribe, look at me, I am doing well. I am safe. I am successful. But here is the catch that nobody warns you about when you get that raise. Status is a subscription model, and the monthly fee is your freedom. Think about the luxury car. It's not just the higher monthly payment. It's the premium insurance. It's the expensive synthetic oil changes. It's the constant low-level anxiety of someone scratching it in the grocery store parking lot. To pay for the car that tells people you are successful, you now have to work longer hours, take on more stressful projects, and maybe even give up your weekends. You traded your unrecoverable finite time on this earth for depreciating steel and leather. You increased your baseline operating costs, which means you can never step off the gas pedal. The core issue isn't that you bought something nice. I love nice things. The issue is a fundamental misunderstanding of what money actually does. Money does not automatically make your life better. Read that again in your mind. Money, sitting in a bank account or converted into a designer watch, does not magically reduce your stress. The way you deploy that money dictates whether it becomes a tool for your liberation or a chain of endless obligation. So, if buying status makes us tired and simply making more money doesn't cure burnout, what is the alternative? This brings us to a concept I call the friction audit. I want you to mentally walk through your average Wednesday. From the moment your alarm goes off to the moment your head hits the pillow, what drains your energy? What are the points of friction? Maybe it's the hour-long commute each way. Maybe it's the fact that after a brutal 10-hour workday, you still have to spend 2 hours cleaning the kitchen, doing laundry, and figuring out what to cook, leaving you exactly 0 minutes to actually sit down, breathe, and decompress. Most people will look at their bank account and say, I have an extra $500 this month. I'm going to buy those new sneakers, or I'm going to upgrade my phone. They buy the item, they get a quick dopamine hit, they get 3 compliments at the office, and then they go right back to dreading their chaotic, exhausting Wednesday. The item did absolutely nothing to change the texture of their daily reality. But what if you took that exact same money and deployed it as a weapon against your stress? What if you paid for a weekly laundry service so you never had to fold another shirt? What if you bought a high-end robot vacuum that mops the floors while you sleep? What if you used that extra money to pay a slightly higher rent so you could live 10 minutes from your office? Completely eliminating 10 hours of commuting from your life every single week? This is the massive pivot in money psychology. The absolute best thing money can buy isn't an object. It's the removal of a negative experience. It's buying back your time. When you buy back your time, you aren't just getting hours back on a clock. You are buying bandwidth. You are buying patience. You are buying the emotional energy to play with your kids without snapping at them. You are buying the mental clarity to work on a business idea. Or, honestly, you are simply buying the right to sit on your couch in total silence and do absolutely nothing. You are buying an objectively better Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Let's look at the psychology here, because the resistance to this idea is fascinating. Many of us suffer from a bizarre guilt when it comes to buying time. We tell ourselves, I shouldn't pay someone to clean my house. I am perfectly capable of cleaning it myself. Or, why would I pay extra for grocery delivery? That's lazy. We have been conditioned to believe that hard work and suffering are badges of honor, while simultaneously believing that spending thousands of dollars on a handbag is a normal reward for that suffering. Do you see how backward that is? We feel guilty spending money to give ourselves peace, but we feel completely justified spending money to give ourselves status. We are deeply terrified of looking like we are falling behind. We are conditioned to believe that if we aren't upgrading our physical possessions, we are stagnating. But I want to challenge you with a question today that completely shifted my own reality. It is the defining question of modern wealth. Are you spending money to make your life better, or are you spending money to make your life look better? There is a massive, life-altering difference between those two things. Making your life look better is buying the Rolex. Making your life actually better is taking a slight pay cut to work a fully remote job so you can sleep an extra hour, skip the traffic, and have a slow, quiet breakfast every single morning. The Rolex is visible wealth. Everyone can see it. The calm morning is invisible wealth. Nobody sees it but you. And let me tell you, invisible wealth is undefeated. Let's break down the practical application of this. How do we actually transition from being a status-driven spender to a time-driven investor? Because it doesn't mean you have to become intensely frugal, living off rice and beans and never enjoying the fruits of your labor. That is a scarcity mindset, and we do not do scarcity here. You worked hard for your money, you should enjoy it. It means you become ruthless about alignment. You start calculating the time ROI, the return on investment of your time, for every major purchase. Imagine you have two choices. Purchase A is a massive upgraded television for your living room with a premium sound system. It costs $2,000. Purchase B is hiring someone to deep clean your house twice a month for an entire year. That also costs about $2,000. If you buy the TV, you are buying a static object. Because of a psychological concept called hedonic adaptation, you will get used to it incredibly fast. After 3 weeks, it's no longer a magical cinema experience. It's just the TV. It doesn't reduce your daily stress. It doesn't give you hours back. But purchase B? Coming home to a spotless house every other Friday? Having your weekends completely free from scrubbing floors and dusting shelves? That feeling of walking into a clean environment, the massive reduction of cognitive load, the literal hours returned to your schedule, that compounds. Every single time that house is cleaned, your stress levels drop. That is money actively working to improve the quality of your actual life. When you start filtering your spending through this lens of time and friction, your entire reality changes. You stop competing in a game you never actually wanted to play. The status game is infinite. It is a game designed to make you lose. There is always going to be someone with a bigger boat, a faster car, a nicer neighborhood, or a better vacation. You cannot win it. If you tie your happiness to status, you are signing up for a lifetime of exhaustion. But the time game? You can win that today. You can win that by simply deciding that your peace of mind, your energy, and your quiet moments are worth far more than a stranger's validation at a stoplight. This is the ultimate evolution of money psychology. It's moving past the beginner stage of just tracking budgets and cutting expenses and stepping into the mastery stage of asking, how do I convert my capital into freedom? You see, the wealthiest people I know, and I mean the truly wealthy, the ones who are actually happy, not just high-income earners who are drowning in debt to look rich, they share one exact trait. Their calendars are remarkably empty. They are not rushing from place to place. They are not frantic. They don't have that permanent look of low-level panic in their eyes. They have successfully weaponized their money to eliminate the mundane, the irritating, and the exhausting parts of life. They do not care if you think they are rich. They don't care if their car is 5 years old. They care that they completely own their Tuesday afternoon. They care that they have the energy to pursue what genuinely matters to them. So, the next time your income goes up, or you get that bonus, or you find yourself with extra cash at the end of the month, pause. Pause before you immediately browse the luxury brands. Pause before you look at upgrading the car. Look at your life as it actually is and ask yourself, where does it hurt? Where is the friction? What drains my energy on a daily basis? And how can I throw this money at that exact problem until it disappears? Because at the end of the day, you can't take the designer clothes or the luxury cars with you. But the memories you make, the peace you cultivate, and the time you reclaim, that is the only real wealth there is. I want to hear from you on this one. If you had an extra $500 a month that you were forced to spend only on buying back your time or removing friction from your daily routine, what exactly would you spend it on? Drop your answer in the comments right now, because reading through those practical ideas is going to be a goldmine for everyone in this community trying to optimize their lives. And if this shift in perspective resonated with you today, hit the subscribe button. We are building a community of people who are opting out of the exhausted, status-chasing rat race and actively designing lives of true freedom, calm, and intentional wealth. Remember, anyone can finance a lifestyle that looks good to the world, but it takes true clarity and courage to fund a life that actually feels good to you. See you in the next one.